Hi, I'm Pastor Kevin. It's Monday and this is Aftermath. Yesterday we talked about worship in our church services, and we talked about many different ways that people worshiped. I use a couple of examples. The person in the nursery changing a child's diaper during our services is worshiping because they're serving God and worshiping. Worship incorporates and encompasses every area of our life. If you read Psalm 139, you realize very quickly in reading that psalm that God is everywhere. God is always present. You can't get rid of him, you can't hide from him, and you can't dodge him. That's why the psalmist at the end of Psalm 139 says, "Search me and know me, O Lord," because he wants God to try him, to test his heart, to make sure that his life is a life of worship. Worship is a lifestyle. Here's a quote I read this week that caught my attention, and I don't remember who said it, but it's this. The goal of worship is to put God in his rightful position as the focal point of your life. That's the whole point of worship, is to put God in that rightful position. Remember yesterday we talked about God said, "I'm a jealous God." Said that to Moses when he gave him the 10 Commandments. I'm a jealous God. You should have no other gods before me. God says, I'm first. I am, the word is preeminent, absolutely first, unequivocally, unconquerably, unchangeably first. He is the one who is the focal point of our life for a variety of reasons, obviously because he gave us life. He's our creator. When we sinned and messed it up, he sent his son to die on the cross to defeat death, to give us new life so that we could have eternal life. God is all about life, and he ought to be the focal point of our life. True worship is not about us. It's about God. And really is a heart issue. And one of the things that I think a lot of us Christians struggle with is keeping God as the central focal point of our life. We are loaded with distractions in our days and weeks and in our lives in general. The evil one makes sure we have distractions. We're distracted by our own desires and that sin nature that's always tugging at us and striving to cause us to stumble and fall as well. So we have a lot of difficulties in keeping our focus. Imagine this. Imagine you're an Olympic athlete and you're walking the balance beam. And as you walk the balance beam, you want to make sure that your feet stay on that balance beam. Some of the gymnastics you have to do on that beam, the somersaults and stuff, you always want to make sure you land with your feet on the beam. You have to keep your focus on that beam. And it's not all that wide, but you have to keep your focus on it in order to use it properly and to do well in the Olympics. But imagine you're on that beam and there's people and things standing along the sides of the beam while you're trying to do your gymnastic tricks, and they're tugging at you and reaching up and grabbing your arm or pushing you or trying to move you and push you off the beam, trying to get your attention somewhere else, or someone they're saying, "Hey, Kevin, how you doing?" Somebody over there on the side with a balloon, For me, it'd be somebody standing off to the side with a really nice green enchilada with some mole sauce around it, I look at that, that would distract me. We all have our distractions. They keep us from aiming where we need to aim. True worship is a lifestyle. It's theocentric, it's God-centric. It's not anthropocentric, which means man-centered. It's God-centered. He's the focal point. He's the centerpiece. Often in our church life and in our everyday life, we evaluate everything and filter everything through the things that are preferential to us. And very often we forget that we should be filtering everything through what is preferential to God. What does God want? Our very first consideration in all things should be, what does God want? That's the focal point of a lifestyle of worship. I hope you have a great week this week. And as you ask God to test your heart, to show you that your worship with him is authentic and real and vital, and ask him to correct anything in your life that's not focused on him, Help him to show you that and lead you in his everlasting way. May God bless you. Hope you have a great week.